What is going on, guys? Thanks for checking out this video today. It is exclusively available on Patreon only, so know that this video will not be available anywhere else. It is just for you guys, so thank you for subscribing. I truly appreciate you. Today we're going to do a lesson over the song Testify by Stevie Ray Vaughan. It's a really cool E minor pentatonic blues jam that he would open with quite often in the early 80s into mid 80s. He would always open with this song. You can check out some live versions of it. Elmo Combo, the Testify on that live version is amazing. So we're going to start by dissecting the main riff of the song, and which is actually pretty simple and pretty basic to go over real quick. And then we're going to get into sort of the licks that I did there at the beginning in that 30-second clip or whatever it was. And it's a variation, but it's very similar to what Stevie did. Stevie never played the same lick twice. So in the future, I'm going to do some more beginner style videos so that you guys will be set up and ready to go. But for this video, you just need to know that you need to be tuned down to E flat. And we're also going to be playing an E minor pentatonic mostly. Okay, so for part one of this series over Testify, we're going to start out with the basic riff of the song. And it's going to start out here on the 7th fret on the E string. Okay, and so what I'm doing there is doing this down up stroke on the 7th fret on the E string, and then the 5th fret on the A string, 6th fret on the A string, 7th fret on the A string. Again, all these tabs should be in a link somewhere on this page, okay? So when you do those all 3 or 4 together, going down up, it's going to sound like this. The last note there on the A string on the 7th fret is a single note. And that is actually your root note, so that's your E. Once you get into that, you're going to play this chord, which I will have in the description below exactly what it is. You're going to want to put your middle finger here on the 7th fret, A string, your first finger on the 6th fret, D string, your ring finger on the 7th fret, G string, your pinky finger on the 8th fret, B string. It's going to sound like this. You want to play the open strings on both E's. It's a very Stevie chord, Hendrix chord, okay? So then you want to add in that first little intro riff that we did, those quick notes, and then hitting that chord. Now what's difficult about this is that you've got to be able to adjust into that really funky chord really quick and be able to hit all the notes solid. So it's going to sound like this when it's all together. So now you're into that E chord there, and there's a specific sort of picking pattern that he would do more typically, but he also would mix it up and just kind of, you know, do whatever strumming pattern he wanted to do at that moment. So this is an example of what he would do. So a little bit slowed down for you. So you got to get that strum. Da, 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 da. Okay. So now he's going to do this walk up into the B chord, which happens on the last time around with this opening riff. And so it walks up to the E just like the other times. Now it's going to come back on the 4th fret on the E string. And it walks up fret by fret up to the 7th fret on the B string. I'm sorry, on the E string. Hitting the B note there. So a little bit faster. And then he does this little miniature 7th chord up here at the 7th fret. All that is on the D string, 7th fret, G string, 8th fret. And you can even add in the root note here with your thumb if you can reach that. That's what it's going to sound like. You really want to vibrato that. So here's everything together in full speed. It's going to take some time to get up to that speed, but you should have all the information that you need there to work up to that. So just start slow. It's sort of like drums. If you can start slow with it, then you can build up your speed. You can't just go straight into full speed. So now I'm going to move the camera and we're going to work on the little opening lick that he does here, sort of when he just busts out into the solo of the song. So after you've hit this turnaround chord, we're going to come up here to the 14th fret on the G string. So here's what I did, and this is again typically what Stevie would do. Okay, so that little quick thing is on the 14th fret of the G string. Okay, it's sort of bending down. And really you're only going a half step. Pulling off to the 12th fret on the G string. Okay, and then hitting this 14th fret on the D string. Quick, muting it, you're back off, and you're back onto the 12th fret of the G string. Okay, now this sort of is a variation. Maybe Stevie did, it's what I do. So once you hit that, you're gonna come back here to the 14th fret on the D string. Quick pull off to the 12th fret, and then hit this 14th fret on the A string. Now this is where it gets a little bit tricky. I add a hard note with the top E string open right after that, but it's super quick. You can hear what I'm doing there, but you have to really pop it quickly because you're going to the next part really fast. So here we are going into the next section after that open E note. Sort of a repetition of what just happened, but we're going up a little bit higher. So after that open string, so we're going to do this little fast blues rock kind of thing where we go bend the 14th fret up, bending up here on the 14th fret. Now we're going to hit the 12th fret on the B and E string. So bending here on the G string on the 14th fret, 12 and 12 on the B and E, 15th fret bending, a whole step. And the way Stevie did it, you know, Philip says too, they gotta do this. Now it's pretty quick, you probably can't get that kind of vibrato in there. Back to the 12th fret, back to the 14th fret on the G string, same lick that we did in the earlier section. Back to the open E. So quickly, this is it. Okay, a little bit slower, this is it. I really hope that this content helps you guys. That's what it's about. And honestly, it helps me too. It really helps me stay focused and stay fresh. So I truly love doing it in all aspects. And any suggestions you guys have, please comment. Please stay tuned for next week's lesson. We're going to have some more cool stuff. So thanks again, guys, and we'll see you next week. All right.